1st of March, Rabbi Moore, Parsha Hashavua with Rashi, Pikudei.
Okay. 1 second. Good afternoon, everybody.
Hello, Rabbi. How are you?
Okay. Oopsie, I haven't turned my. Okay. You hear me okay?
Yes.
1 second. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Why can't I hear you? Let me check. Unmute. 1 second. Hello?
Yes.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good. Fine. No, the first I wouldn't hear. Okay. Let's go. We are up to Pikudei. Yeah. Okay, we're on Pasuk Chavvav.
Okay, Becca. La goles machatzis hashekel b'shekel hakodesh l'chol ha'over al hapikudim miben esrim shana umala l'shei.
Vomala, I think it is.
Oh, vamala l'sheish me'os elef ushloshes alafim v'chamesh me'os v'chamishim.
Okay.
What does it mean? It says a Becca for each person.
Per head, you would say in English, basically.
Per
Golos is really literally means a skull, but it means in this sense, Golos means a becca per head.
Okay, from a half shekel.
Not from a half shekel, which is machatzis shekel, which is half a shekel.
What's the mem doing?
That's the word machatzis is the noun for a half.
Ah, I see. So what's the root?
Make an interesting point. Why is it called machatzis shekel and not chetzi shekel?
Yeah,
chetzi?
Exactly.
It seems could be that where the half in itself is a unit, because they were giving a coin which was half a shekel. If it's a chetzi shekel, means you take a shekel coin and split it in two. That's not so.
Oh, I see. The shekel in the of a holy shekel. It's a half of a shekel, a holy shekel.
Of the holy type of shekel, that's why I translated it. Okay.
Okay. That for everyone that passes the counters.
Among the counted ones. For all who passed or among the counted ones. Okay. Now I use the past tense who passed because it means for all who are part, or should let maybe better translate, for all who are passing among the counted ones.
Okay. Why do you translate Hakudim as among the counted ones?
Al means, in this sense, Al means among, Hapkudim, the counted ones.
I see. Among the counted ones. From 20 years old and up.
Okay. By the way, this is one of my theses. The word in Hebrew, ben esim shana, by itself, does not mean 20 years old. It means within the 20th year. But here the pasuk says, and this is what the Gemara in Erechin explains, mi ben esim shana v'malo, which in turns means he's past the 20th year. You understand?
No.
So somebody who's in his 20th year, he's ben esim shana, but he's not ben esim shana v'malo. Means somebody's ben esim shana v'malo means he's already past the 20th year, he's on to his 21st year. That means he's 20 years old.
I would think it would mean he's older than 20.
Correct.
Including in his 20th year would be older than 20.
No. He's older than 20, and that means he's in his 21st year.
Okay, my English disagrees with you. It says from 20 years of age and up.
Yeah, so that's an inaccuracy. Let me see how I translated it. Just 1 second. Let me see. Pikudei. From all who are included among the counted, those 20 years old and over.
Okay, so that sounds like
They're over 20 years old, correct? Means that they have to be 20 years old, which means already in their 21st year.
so you're saying somebody who is 20 would not be included.
Who's 20, what we call 20 years old would yes be included. But somebody who's in his 20th year would not be included.
Oh, somebody who's in his 20th year means he's 19.
Correct. So somebody,
okay, now I'm with you.
Right, okay, you got me?
Yeah.
Okay.
For 600,000 and 30
and 3.
603,000 and 500 and 50.
Right. Okay. So that's the pasuk now. This basically pasuk is following on from the previous pasuk. The previous pasuk said the total amount of all the shkolim was 100 kikar and 1,775 shkolim. And now this pasuk is elaborating on that. How did we get to that total? Because we have Bekala Gogoles, right, which is the equivalent of Machatzis HaShekel B'Shekel HaKodesh, and that was for all who passed among the counted ones, those 20 years old and up, for 603,550. So now, if you take this, I'm going to start from the end because you'll see in a minute. If you take 3,550 half shekels, that comes to 1,775 whole shekels. Okay, so therefore that's when it's referred to in Pasuk Chof Hei, it says 1,775 shekels. That was the half shekels of 3,550 people. Now it remains, therefore, the 600,000 people, they gave 100 kikar. So that means 600,000 people gave 300,000 shkolim. That means they gave 600,000 half shkolim, which was the equivalent of 300,000 whole shkolim. And that was ma'as kikar. So from which you can infer that each kikar was 3,000 shkolim. Okay? So let's see the Rashi here.
Okay, Becca. Hu shem mishkal shel machatzis hashekel. It is the name of the weight of a half shekel.
Yeah. See, Rashi's pointing out over here, the name shekel was not the name of the weight.
Right.
The word shekel is the name of the coin. And the weight of a half shekel coin was beka. So it's very interesting. This maybe answers a little bit my question. Not entirely. It says, we had a question, why was HaKadosh Baruch Hu had to show Moshe Rabbeinu, go out of his way to show him the Zeh Yitnu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu had to show him a virtual or fiery coin and tell him this is the coin which each person is supposed to give. And this is half a shekel. Well, why did he have to show it to him? Take the Beka weight, was a known weight. So it seems that the coin from this pasuk over here implies that the coin itself was a special mintage. Right? It wasn't just any coin minted out of a Beka weight. It had to be a certain particular size, I guess maybe in circumference and thickness. And so therefore, this way that that coin which HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted Moshe Rabbeinu to make had to be made with specific dimensions. Okay.
The Shesh Me'os Elef Vigomer, 600,000, etc. Kad Hayu Yisrael.
It's a chaf.
Kach Hayu Yisrael. Thus were the Jews.
Meaning that was the number of men among in Klal Yisrael, in the Jewish people. Those 20 years old and up, okay, they were 603,550.
Isn't that obvious?
Okay.
It says everybody gave a half a shekel. And
those 20 years old and up.
It was. So what is Rashi adding?
Carry on.
V'chach Allah min yanam achar shehukam hamishkan. And thus they ascended.
Allah minyanim, the number totaled, right? This so too was the total number. After the Mishkan had been put up in Sefer Bamidbar at the beginning of the second year, on the beginning of Iyar. That's how Sefer Bamidbar, Parshas Bamidbar begins. It says the HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe Rabbeinu on the Rosh Chodesh Iyar, count the Jewish people, and that the total amount of the Jewish people, those 20 years old and up, came to exactly the same amount, 603,550.
The Sefer Vayidaber, and the book of Vayidaber.
No, Bamidbar. Hello?
I have Vayidaber. No?
You have the word Vayidaber?
Yeah, I have Vav Yud Dalid Bet Resh.
Oh, I have the Sefer Bamidbar. Or Bamidbar, as it's maybe more accurately pronounced. Okay?
Oh, it says, I have a footnote that says from Bamidbar 146, the Rishonim often referred to the book of Numbers, commonly called Bamidbar, as the book of Vayedaber, naming it for its first word.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what Rashi is saying. Okay, v'af atah, and now, also.
Yeah. Now too.
Benid vas ha mishkan. At the contribution towards the Mishkan, kach hayu. Thus, they were umin yan chatzae hashkalim. The count of the half shekels.
Right. The number of half shekels of
Shel sheish me'os elef, of 600,000. Ole me'as kikar, which totals to 100 kikar. Kol echad shel shaloshes alafim shkalim. Each one was 3,000 shekels.
Okay.
Ketzad, how is this? Sheish me'os elef chatza'in harei hain shalosh me'os elef shlemim. So it says 600,000 half are 300,000 whole.
Right.
Hare me'at kikar. Behold, 100 kikar.
Which with those hare means that total that comes out to be 100 kikar.
This is 100 kikar.
Right.
Lahash loshes alafim vacha mesh meos vacha mishim chatzaim. So it is 3,550 halves.
Right.
Olim elef ushva meos vacha misha v'shivim shkalim. That comes to 1,775 shkalim.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so I still don't get the first part of the Rashi, which says Kach Hayu Yisrael.
Because this was the number of Yisrael now, this counting, which was done straight after Yom Kippur, where everybody contributed half a shekel towards the building of the Mishkan.
So why don't we leave that phrase now?
And so too, this was the exact same number as they were at the count 6 months later, more than 6 months later, at the beginning of Iyar of the following year.
So why don't we leave out Kach Hayu Yisrael and just say L'shesh Ma'os Elef V'Gomer Kach Allah Min Yan Achar Shehukam Hamishkan.
Okay, you have a question. He has a shtickle. Sifsei Chachomim quotes over here, Hashem the Minchas Yaakov and the Minchas Yaakov, that the point is, were the Levim included in bringing the half a shkalim over here or not? In Parshas Bamidbar, they were definitely not included.
I'm sorry, who was not included?
The Levim.
Oh, the Levites.
Levites.
Mm-hmm.
So were they included here or not? So Rashi's pointing out, that's in the first one Rashi say, they're pointing out that this is what Rashi's pointing, the point which Nekuda, the point which Rashi is pointing out is that this was Yisrael, but they did not include the Levim. And he explains the Sifsei Chomim is because the main idea or the main thrust of the Mishkan was in order to act as an atonement for the Jewish people that they had served the golden calf. And the Leviim were innocent of that. Okay, they were the ones who answered the call of Moshe Rabbeinu, Mi Hashem Eloi, who is for Hashem, should come to me. And they were the only ones, the tribe of Levi, they're the ones who rallied to Moshe's call, and they killed the perpetrators of the ones who had actually served the golden calf, and therefore they showed that they were strongly against what the whole making of the golden calf and the worshipping and whatever was done then. And therefore, for them, for Leviim, they did not require this kapara of the to the same degree as Jewish people. They did not require the same kapara as the rest of the Jewish people. So therefore, they were not required to bring this machtis hasheker. Right, it's interesting. It's not really Nogea now because here in this parsha, but it's Nogea. Were the Levim included, or should we say, in the punishment of the Jewish people that all those between 20 and 60 were not allowed to go into Eretz Yisrael, go into the land of Israel, because those who sinned were the sin of the spies? Were the Levim included in that? So Rashi says in the beginning of Sefer Bamidbar, in Parshas Bamidbar, Rashi says that Levim were not included. They were not included in that Gzeira, and therefore all the Levim between 20 and 60 also went into Eretz Yisrael. That's Rashi's opinion. I'm not sure whether it's a unanimous opinion, but that's the way Rashi explains. But what comes out very interesting is that if so, the number of Levim should have been many more. Meaning, if none of them died during the 40 years, they weren't included in the Gezerah of all those between 20 and 60 to die, right, then the Levim should have been many more. They started off being something like 22,300, and in the end there were about 23,000. So it was the number of Levim hardly grew. The size of the tribe hardly grew. So the Mefarshim explain is that because the Levim had a dangerous job. Many of them died as a result of having to carry the kalim of the Mishkan, and had to make sure with a proper frame of mind. And if Chas v'Shalom the person wasn't, then he would get zapped. So unfortunately, many Levim died as a result of that. The Lashon of Chazal is ha'oron haya machale bohem. The Oron, since the job was to carry the Oron, but you have to say it's not just the Oron, but all the other Kalim as well, had to be done with a proper kavanah, a proper frame of mind, and not always every Levi was in that frame of mind when he did it. And Chas v'Shalom, many of them died. By the way, it's also a very interesting calculation. Later on in Parshas Noso, you find that it seems that the average lifespan of a Levi was a little bit more than 50. Maybe 52, I think it worked out, I can't remember. But the average lifespan of a Levi was about 50 years old. Anyway, okay, it's not for now. Let's continue. Pasuk Chov Zay.
Vayihi ma'as kikar hakesef la tekes ace adnei ha-kodesh, the ace adnei ha-paroches me as adanim lim as hakikar kikar la'aden. So it means 100 kikar of silver to pour the sockets of the holy place, the sanctuary, I guess.
Adnei HaKodesh means the bases, otherwise known as the sockets of the sanctuary. I guess you call it Adnei HaKodesh.
Oh, Adnei HaKodesh is a phrase. I see. So it's the holy sockets, or the
right. Yeah.
I see. It's the sockets of sanctity. Okay.
Or of the sanctuary.
Of the sanctuary, right. And the sockets of the parochas is the curtain?
Correct. The dividing curtain between the Kodesh, the holy, the sanctuary, and the Kodesh HaKadosh, the Holy of Holies. Meaning that was there, the paroches was the curtain that divided between the holy part, the Holy of Holies, and the outer room of the Mishkan, which was called the Kodesh.
100 sockets for 100 kikar, a kikar per socket.
Right.
Okay. So Rashi, lenetzach, lenetzek.
Lotsekes.
I'm sorry, latsekes, to pour. Kid targumo, as the Uncle's translation says, la'atacha, which means to pour, I guess, in Aramaic.
Right, to cast, as you say, like in metal. You cast metal. Take molten metal and you cast it to be a certain shape. Or you normally pour in with cement. You also use that in Ivrit today. To pour cement, it's called yitzika. It also uses the same word. Taking a material which is right now liquid, but it's going to solidify on after a time, either through cooling down, or normally, as I say, through cooling down.
Eis adnei hakodesh, the sockets of sanctity. Shel Karshe Hamishkan, of the beams of the Mishkan.
Yeah.
Shehem Arba'im Ushmona Kirashim, that they were 48 beams.
Right, so there were 48 beams, and each one had two. That's what Rashi goes on to explain. B'lahen,
V'lahen tish'im v'shisha adanim, and they were.
well,
They had 96 sockets.
okay,
V'adnei haparoches arba'ah, and the sockets of the curtain 4. Hare me'ah. This is 100.
the totals, hooray, that thereby you have 100.
Because you have 96 plus 4.
Right.
V'chol she'ar ha'adanim nechoshes kasuv bahem. And all the other sockets, it's written about them that they're a copper.
Right. What's the choshes and what's there, the Torah prescribes that those should be not from silver, but rather from copper. Okay, very good. The mice of the beams were 20 on one side, 20 on the other, and 8 at the end. That's how the total of 48 comes. Okay, and the pillars which stood at the entrance to the Mishkan, those had copper bases and not silver bases.
Right.
Okay, now let's continue.
Okay.
Pasuk Chof Ches.
V'es ha'elef ushva ha'meos v'chamisha v'shiv'im asa v'vavim la'amudim v'tzipa ra shehem v'chi kash v'hi shak osam.
Chishak Osam, yeah.
V'hi shak osam.
Chishak. Chishak Osam.
Chishak.
Right.
So it means the 1,775
which means shekels.
right. He made hooks. What is vavim?
Hooks.
Hooks. Oh, what is shiv? Shivim asa vavim, hooks. Okay, la'amudim, for the pillars, and he covered the tops and belted them.
Okay, belted is a little bit funny word. He what was the word I used over here?
This is the word chishak.
Yeah, chishak means to put a band around them.
Banded. Okay, he banded them, belted them.
He made hooks for the pillars. He covered their tops and banded the pillars.
He banded them, which means he wrapped
silver around them.
silver.
Most of, yeah, I think it has the pictures over here. It was just like rings. around. It wasn't covering the whole thing.
I see.
If you see a second, do I have a picture here? No, not a clear picture anyway.
V'tzipa rashehem, he covered their tops. Shel amudim mehen, of the pillars from them.
Right.
Shebechulam kasiv, that about all of them it is written, V'tzipa risho rashehem v'chashu
Okay.
kem kesef.
Joseph.
And
Okay.
the covering of their tops and their
And the
bands of silver.
right. So you see clearly that this says V'chashukehem is referring to the pillars.
Right.
So that's what Rashi's pointing out. Tzipor Rashem, what of what? Their heads of what? Shel amudim. Right. He covered over the heads of the pillars with silver.
Got
So
it.
Rashi's pointing out because the pasuk doesn't say explicitly what he did. Asov vovim lamudim, b'tzipor Rashem, and he covered over their heads. Whose heads? V'chishakosam. So Rashi's saying this raya from a different pasuk elsewhere. Pasuk Yites, okay, b'tzipor Rashem v'chashukehem kasev is referring to see this. Both of them referring to the pillars. So you see that the covering of the heads and the bands were both referring to the pillars. Okay,
Rabbi.
fine, very good. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you, Shkach.
See you, Yechiel.